Hey there, everyone. You haven't done this in a while. It's time for Barry's Reads and Recommends to let you know what I have been reading, what I have read, what I recommend, what I'm thinking, and what's coming up. I should mention, before we get going, that The Fifth Guardian, A Symphony of Discord, we're hoping to have that out in April or May, self-publishing this time, so you may find it on Amazon and some other online distributors. I will keep you posted through my website and newsletter on that one. And please subscribe to my newsletter. You can access that if you go to my website and sign up there. It would be great to have more people join my subscribers list so I can keep you all updated about what's happening. So the first book I'm still reading is Letters to the Thirsty. Really good book in terms of insight into faith and discipleship and all those wonderful things. Almost through it, have now moved into Letters of Rest, which I think is the last chapter, the last part. So highly recommend it if you are interested in that, in discipleship to the Christian faith, etc. Letters to the Thirsty, For Vision, For Life, For Rest, Edward Miller. I'm really enjoying it. As I said, very insightful. A couple of Margaret Wheatley's I've been reading as I'm taking a course. This is her Who Do We Choose to Be? This is an updated version. It's on leadership. So who do we choose to be, with the subtitles, Facing Reality, Claiming Leadership, Restoring Sanity. Something we definitely need in the world these days, and it's very relevant to what's going on. I love some of her insight and comments around, one that stood out to me as I read this morning was, nature does not lie. And we can see around the world that maybe nature is a little upset with us and a little tired of us humans doing some terrible lying these days. At any rate, well worth a read if you can pick it up. It's available, chapters, Amazon, etc. The newer one that she's written is called Restoring Sanity, which ties into the course I'm taking, with the subtitles Practices to Awaken Generosity, Creativity, and Kindness in Ourselves and Our Organizations. Again, something we could really use these days is generosity, creativity, and kindness. Sounds very biblical to me. So if you do pick it up, I'd be curious to know what you think of it. And then I'm still reading this one. Sorry, I finished this one. Took me a bit. Knowledge and Perspective, Selected Essays in Epistemology. How do we know? How do we actually know what we know? And what's true and what's not, and all those things. So it's taken me a while. I will freely admit that this was, I was really out of my depth reading this one. Really stretched my brain. Some things I understood. Some things I struggled with. Sometimes I was reading and rereading sentences or paragraphs 2 or 3 times to see if it would make sense. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But if you're into epistemology and trying to figure out how we know what we know and all those good things, it's definitely worth a read. And then I saved the best for last, in my opinion anyways, Terry Brooks' newest book, The First Druids of Shannara, Gallifile. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I assume it's Gallifile. I have to say that I devoured this one probably in a week or less. I don't think I went through it a week and a half. Truly enjoyable. Love Terry's writing. Big fan of the Shannara series and his other ones like Magic Kingdom for Sale, the series of Landover. This one was a prequel to way back near the beginnings of some of the writings around Shannara when we meet the druids in some of the early books. This was the first druid, as it says here. I hope he has made this a trilogy at least. I really love his writing style. And the thing that stood out to me this time around was his short, crisp sentences. Sure, there are a few longer, some into paragraphs, but he's just an excellent writer in terms of crispness, something I'm hoping to emulate in some of my own writing as I continue to work on some of my other books. But if you're a Shannara fan or fantasy fan, if you're not familiar with the Shannara series, you definitely need to get it and start reading through it. And the First Druids of Shannara here, probably even non-fantasy readers would enjoy it. So I'll leave that for you to decide. Thanks, everybody. That's what I'm reading and recommending these days. Another update maybe in about a month, and I'm going to try to be more active on my website, so please check that out as well. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next time on Barry's Reads and Recommends.